Alright, so welcome back, and on this one we're going to talk about the bundle. Now maybe you're thinking, because of course you're new to React and that's why you're here, that when you create a React application, of course you start creating all your JavaScript files just like we have right here, and then at the end of the day when we are ready to put this on production, you grab all these JavaScript files and you put them on the server. Well, that's not the way it works when you create a single page application. Now it doesn't matter if it's a React application or Vue application or Angular application, they all work the same way. Now, you don't grab all your JavaScript files with all your code and you put them on the server. What you do, you run a command, and that command will create a bundle. Okay, so let me show you a tiny chart. Right now, of course, let's assume that we have an application. This is our application. And of course, our application is a pretty long, pretty large, robust, like a tank application. So you have tons and tons and tons of files. Again, you don't grab these files and you don't put them on the server when you want to go and make this application public. What you do, you run a command, and that command, it's React that will transpile all the files to a code that the browser can understand, of course, and it will just sum all the work you did, all the work you did on the different files of JavaScript in your application, and it will combine them into just a couple of files. The most important files are going to be the index.html and the bundle.js. Now, why do we get an index.html? Now, at the end of the day, we are creating an application to render on a browser. We want to show the application on the browser, and the browser knows how to work with HTML files. So we need an index.html to serve as a bridge. The browser is going to find the index.html, which is, it knows how to do that. And then inside, instead of putting a link to all our JavaScript files, we put a link to the bundle. Now, don't worry, this is not something that we do manually. We run a command and React will handle everything for us. Okay, so back to the project, I can actually prove this. Now, remember, we are running the boilerplate, right? We are running this template. And this template, it's just a combination of all the files we have right here. So if I go right here, we are running the application on a development server, and all of this works. Now, at the end of the day, remember, React or the browser, what it wants to read is a bundle.js, not all the JavaScript files. So if I do inspect on the console and I go to elements, notice that we get that indexed HTML. So if you go to the public, notice that we have the index.html. So this is the one. So this is the one that it's rendering right here and the one we are looking right here. Now, of course, what the index.html needs is the bundle, which contains all the JavaScript information. So if you keep scrolling down, notice that you have it right here. So when we work on a development server, React will just create a bundle for us every time that we, make a change or we access to the application on the development server. But all the code is right here. So if I start adding JavaScript files, and I mean tons of JavaScript files, at the end of the day, all of them, they will be summed on this bundle.js file. So notice one more thing, that on this index, you don't get them. You don't get that bundle.js, and you should not, of course, add this manually. This is actually being handled by the React application and the npm run start. It's just, handled for us. Now, at the end of the day, when you're ready to create an application, we will trigger a command that you have right here, which is called build. And this build will just do all that logic for us. It will just create the bundle ready for production, not development. And it will just create the index, and it will do all that work for us. We can talk about this much later. All right, so let's go to the next one. And let's keep exploring, and on the next one, we're gonna do some coding. Finally, we're gonna do some coding, because right now, when we install the template, of course we get the public, but inside the source directory, everything is kind of built for us. So how can we learn how to use or create a React application if everything was created for us? So we're gonna go to the source, and we're gonna delete this directory, and we're gonna create a React application right from the start. I'm going to show you how all of this works.